Myself and the other ambassadors are now on our way to the Lord Mayor's show, all kitted out in our coats, courtesy of Massey Ferguson. So really excited to see what the Lord Mayor's show is all about. For those of you who like your Masseys, here we are, 1952, old Massey. And the whole idea about today is that we're celebrating 70 years of the Worshipful Company of Farmers. So we then also have this Massey 2022, so 70 years between the two. The float behind me celebrating all things British, British produce and British farming. I've got my big foam hand and very excited for the day. So we're walking past horses, police horses, and then in this trailer there's camels. Why they're camels, I do not know, but they're there. We've come to have a look at the camels. Aren't they just the most bizarre creatures? Look at them.
You're right there, Maxie.
Yep, how handsome. And what's this one called?
Max.
Max. Isn't he lovely?
Good boy, baby, good boy.
I've got my flag at the ready. And we are very nearly going to set off. Alongside the food, we've also got British wool on there. Really, really important that we see the value of that. And it's not just a byproduct, it's a product in itself, which we should be utilising more. So here are some of the ambassadors. They are on the trailer. They get a free ride. That's not fair. I've got to trek the streets of London. Tractor is just about to move on. We're all ready to go. Best dancing ever. Here we go. We're on the move. We're on the parade now. I couldn't tell you where we are where we are in London, but it is so noisy. There's loads of people. It's fantastic. So quite bizarrely, this parade stops for lunch. We've just finished lunch and now we're about to get going, and I am on the trailer for this leg of the procession. Well, that brings us to the end of the Lord Mayor's show. I'm staggered at how many people there were. Hopefully we got some of the messages about British farming and the red tractor, and now I'm going to go because I've got to run for my train. Well, it is a seriously foggy morning here. I'm on my way to walk around the ewes to lamb. So one thing that I'm really checking for is there's a bit more grass in this field. Fleeces are getting a bit wetter and a bit heavier. So one thing I'm really keeping my eye out is for any sheep which may be on their back. That is time critical. They need to be turned over as soon as possible. And unfortunately, if they're on their backs for too long, that will actually ultimately kill them. I do see a few farmers posting about this, but if you're a member of the public, you're on a walk or you're driving around in the countryside and you see a sheep on its back, you should definitely go and try and tip it over. So obviously usually the message is don't go straying in fields where there isn't a right of way, or you haven't got permission to be in, but farmers will be absolutely grateful if there is a sheep on its back and you turn it over. As you can see, slightly tricky to see the sheep, so it'll be a case of making sure I've gone all the way around the boundary. There's no sheep on their own or on their backs. So the last time I was out filming for an NFU project, it was raining, and it's raining again now. We're actually at a farm owned by JCB, and we're looking at one of their new tractors and talking all about how STEM subjects can be really valuable in a career in agriculture. So this is the JCB 4220. We're going to be learning about some of the special features on it. It's a demo machine, so it's going out and about on farm for farmers to try and see if it works for them. So this new range of JCBs, the Icon range, has three kind of new bits of technology and everything to help it be a better experience. So that's I configure, I connect, and I control. As you can see, my hens are happy this morning. I've actually put them a scratching pit in, so just some soil. That is one of the things after the last kind of bird lockdown. The first thing they all did was rush to go and have a dust bath. So they've got soil in there. I've got food and water. I'm going to give them some more hay in their nest box because they just scrat it out. They're actually looking so well at the moment. I'm really happy with how they're doing considering they're not getting outside. That one at the back there is Mavis. The other ones, actually, well, they don't have names yet. I can't really tell the difference between the other grey ones. So there's 3 grey ones, but this gold laced one, I probably should give her a name. I just thought it'd be interesting to do a little update video on the stubble turnips. So you can see behind me those ones which haven't been grazed, all still completely leafy. And then this is the comparison with where the sheep have been. So they're doing a really, really good job of cleaning them up. Really happy on turnips. And they're fully down to the roots of them now. So they're grazing, I mean, effectively like a sheep apple. And they're loving those. It won't be too long before they get into this next break. So the next section of stubble turnips. But they'll do a lot better job of clearing up before they move. Slightly bedraggled because of the rain we've had. But looking well, very happy and enjoying being on these turnips. I'm just checking on the sheep, and I always like to have a look around the edge of the field as well, just check the fence is all right. And today is a prime example of why that's a good idea. So they've clearly been rubbing on this bit of wire here, and it's quite loose. It's 2 strands, that will keep them in. But with them rubbing on this, they've loosened this bit of wire. So actually, if they wanted to, they could now escape. I mean, there is a beck down there, so they'd have to be feeling pretty adventurous to want to go through that, but it's definitely not beyond the sheep. So what I'm going to do as a very temporary repair is just go back to the farm, get a jemmy bar, pull it round, tighten it, staple it back in again, and then that will do for now until I can come back down. Do you want to know what's typical about this field? It's the furthest away from the farm as well. So I thought, nice little walk, take the dog out, check the sheep, back and done. No, I'm out of breath. I just got back to the farm, pick up some tools, and then back down again. I knew this would happen, so I've brought my tools down in a bucket, and I've already got a follower. This is quite a friendly one anyway, but she thinks I've got nuts, but I haven't. Sorry, lass, no nuts. We're getting there. That's a bit wonky, but it's tight now. I'm just on with this side now, this bottom strand. I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but I actually saw on TikTok these people, they were on some ranch somewhere, so I can't quite remember where it was, but they had these barbed wire tighteners, and they're a bit different to normal. Anyway, they absolutely transformed it, but although they would be useful, I'm slightly up against it because a couple of the posts are a little bit rotten, so they're a little bit wobbly. So I wouldn't have been able to do as good a job as those 2 ladies did on this ranch, but a really useful tool. Nowhere near an expert job, but will do until I can come down and replace a couple of the rotten posts. This field is fairly big, so you can just about see the sheep in the distance, and they can get all the way up to those houses. So I'm not worried that they're going to be really hungry and looking to escape. So that will definitely do, just as a very temporary fix. Just come to empty the rain gauge now. This is 2 days worth. We're nearly at 25 mil, and the weather has just really turned. I mean, it'll be filling up reservoirs and kind of sorting out a few of the issues with no rainfall and balancing us out a bit from after the summer. However, anybody who needs to get on and do land work is going to be really suffering. We're lucky in that we don't need to get on at the moment, but we will be lifting the next batch of fodder beet at some point, and if it's this wet, we'll be really making a mess.
So this is one of the tracks which the cattle have made in this field and the sheep are now using, and you can see it's really quite squelchy. We have put a bit of draining in this field, so hopefully that will stand up to the test. You can see this sheep at the back there was one which had maggots, so a bit of a bad haircut, but actually looking really well and happy back in with the flock. There's a couple of lame sheep, so I've decided I'm going to open up one of the gates into a bit of a ginnel and then into a field closer to home, and then probably bring them up tomorrow morning, but it'll just be a bit easier as opposed to having to walk them a long way. So hopefully they'll kind of bring themselves in and walk themselves closer to home, and then I'm not running them either. They're kind of wondering what I'm doing. I'm not worried that they're not sprinting to this gate. As I said, I'd prefer it actually if they walk themselves closer to home just in their own time. He's wondering what the best way is to get across here. He's not impressed. Look at how he's walking. That waddle through there. Regretting his decisions. Not knowing what to do. Ralph, come on. Those back legs. Well, that's me signing out for another week. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to my channel and like and share the video.